Have you heard? There are new Google phones. After more than 4 months of leaks, it's hard for today's Pixel launch not to feel just a little bit anticlimactic. Everyone knows what they look like, we already know most of what they can do. So when Rick Osterloh goes up on stage today and shows us the Pixel 4 and Pixel 4 XL, a lot of people are gonna be like...
I've seen everything. I've seen it all.
Yet none of the leaks can really compare to actually getting the device in your hand. And while I can't tell you everything about these phones just yet, stay tuned for our full review, I am cautiously optimistic. I'm Alex from Android Central, and this is our first look at the Pixel 4 and Pixel 4 XL. So first the basics. We got a 5.7-inch Pixel 4 and a 6.3-inch Pixel 4 XL, with both being roughly the same size as their predecessors. Like last year's Pixels, both have flat displays, but unlike last year's XL, both now have notchless screens. That's because there's a lot more going on in that top bezel, which we'll get to later. For the Pixel 4, you're looking at a Full HD panel. For the Pixel 4 XL, it's Quad HD, both with 19:9 aspect ratios. The screen also has a new ambient EQ feature to match the white balance of what's around you. But the big thing to know about these screens is that they're also smoother than before with a silky 90Hz refresh rate. It's every bit as smooth as phones like the OnePlus 7 Pro. The design this time around is quite a departure from earlier Pixels. There's no two-tone back panel, instead just a painted metal frame and a single sheet of matte textured glass around the back. Both phones come in 3 colours, black, white and orange. I'm using the white XL and the standard Pixel 4 in orange, and I gotta say, orange is definitely the one to get, though I do also enjoy the more subdued white version here, which contrasts nicely with the black sidewalls and the camera module. The hand feel and the aesthetics are pretty different compared to just about every other phone out there, and yes, I do include the iPhone 11 in that. Comparing renders side by side is one thing, but in the hand the Pixel very clearly has its own unique style. The matte textured sidewalls are pretty grippy, and when you combine this with the frosted glass, it's a really unique look. It's all very Google somehow. I'm a little disappointed to see the end of the old two-tone Pixel style, but I do think the Pixel 4 has a stronger design identity. On the inside, the Pixel 4 series has most of what you'd expect from an Android flagship in 2019. It's powered by a Snapdragon 855 processor, there's 6GB of RAM in every Pixel 4 configuration, which is fine if not particularly generous, and 64 or 128GB of storage. The storage situation is my biggest initial beef with these new Pixels, but when you consider the lower than expected starting price, that's probably fine. I can live with 64, especially on a Pixel with free Google Photos backup. Battery capacity is also a bit of a question mark. The big Pixel has an ample 3700 mAh cell, although given the 90Hz panel even that is a little on the small side, but the smaller Pixel has a meager 2800 mAh cell, which is a worrying figure for any Android phone in 2019. We'll see how they stack up in our full review. In terms of charging, your options are the same as the Pixel 3 series though, with 18W fast charging in addition to Qi wireless charging. Pixel 4's camera sees Google moving to a dual rear lens setup for the first time, with a secondary telephoto allowing for digital zoom of up to 5 times. If you're into specs, then the main camera has a 12MP sensor behind an f1.7 lens, the telephoto is a 16MP daily behind an f2.4 lens. There's no ultra-wide, which is something of a disappointment, but telephoto should bring a welcome boost to the Pixel's already great portrait capabilities. We'll put the cameras through their paces in our full review, but needless to say, I am keen to try out the Pixel's updated night sight capabilities and the new astrophotography feature, considering how phenomenal the Pixel 3 was in nighttime shots. Around the front there's just a single selfie camera, but with a wider field of view to help capture the wide selfies the Pixel 3 series was so great at. On paper, the Pixel 4's camera hardware isn't really anything to write home about, but that's always been the case with Pixel phones. The magic comes from the excellent processing that Google brings to the table, and 4 generations in, it looks stronger than ever. And also around the front is another differentiating feature, the extensively leaked Project Soli sensor for aerial gestures. Google Setter walks you through this, and right now you can use to skip songs and control alarms without touching your phone by waving over the gesture area at the top of the screen. It can also be part of the Pixel's lock screen, waking the phone as you approach it. We can't talk too much about how this works just yet, but one initial pain point is the fact that there are some geographic restrictions on where you can actually use it. You might have also noticed there's no fingerprint scanner on the Pixel 4, that's because Google has gone all in on Face Unlock. Setup is super quick and handled when you first start up the Pixel 4. And unlike other Android phones, this Face Unlock is secure enough to handle payments through Google Pay and other secure authentications, again thanks to the Pixel 4's forehead-based array of sensors. So that's the hardware. The major draw for Pixel phones has always been the software though, and this year brings even more googly features to the clean, fast Android 10 experience that we love. I can already hear some of you saying that of course the Pixel 4 is quick out of the box. We'll have to see in the coming weeks and months whether the bit rot that affected earlier Pixels will claim 2 new victims in the Pixel 4 and 4 XL. Hopefully that won't be the case, and the new phones will be able to retain their performance for longer. On the visual side, the new Pixels have a neat loadout of new live wallpapers, plus the old Pixel back catalogue. There are new theming options too, giving Pixel owners the chance to change fonts and colours to suit their style. The redesigned Google Camera app brings some welcome changes too, including more reachable settings via a swipe gesture, and the Pixel Safety app provides a central location for emergency contacts and medical info, and controls the new car crash detection feature, which is available in some but not all countries. Meanwhile, the new Pixel Recorder app offers real-time offline translation of your meetings, which could be a game changer for some people. And related to that, there's also the new Google Assistant, a major feature upgrade which unfortunately is only available in US English at the moment. Like Recorder's offline transcription, the new Assistant runs locally on the phone thanks to the power of the Snapdragon 855. That means Pixel 4 owners can enjoy even quicker responses since Assistant isn't as reliant on your connection speed. Like before, Assistant can be activated with a squeeze or a swipe, and we'll be able to get into how well it works in our full review. Otherwise, this is the Pixel UI we've come to love over the past few years. It's a Google-centric experience that'll be a great fit for anyone who's fully bought into the Google ecosystem. And of course, it is a Pixel, so the haptics are also consistently excellent. Anyway, that's going to do it for our first look at the Pixel 4. After a few lackluster years of Pixel sales, Google needs the series to stand out, and with a new design, a smooth screen, impressive software tricks, and a surprisingly competitive price, it's very possible the Pixel 4 will be up to the challenge. There's a lot to get stuck into here, and obviously a lot we can't talk about yet. Stay tuned for our full review to see how these phones stack up. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.